Morning and welcome back. News just in. Former Kerio Valley Development Authority Managing Director David Kimosop has this morning been arrested at the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport on arrival from Congo. Kimosop is among the individuals whose arrest was ordered by the Director of Public Prosecutions Nuruddin Haji over the multi-billion shilling Aror and Kimorer dams scandal. Haji said he had sufficient evidence to charge and prosecute individuals involved in the procurement and financing of the 60 billion shilling ghost projects. At the time of the arrest, Kimosop's lawyer, Katwa Kigen, told the court he was in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Kimosop was the only big-name suspect in the 63 billion shilling Kimorer and Aror dam scandal who is yet to be arrested. Let's bring in our reporter Timothy Otieno live for us from the DCI headquarters. Timothy, good morning. What more do you have for us?
Well, Michelle, right now, Kimosop is being questioned and grilled by officers of the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, a process that about 24 other individuals underwent earlier on this week before they were arrested and detained at police cells and then later on arraigned at the Milimani law courts. Now, Kimosop has been questioned. Right now, it's almost close to an hour since he was brought to these particular offices along Kiambu Road in Nairobi, where he is expected to be grilled in regards to the controversial construction of the two dams, Aror and Kimorer. He was the only high-ranking official yet to undergo this particular process, and most likely he could possibly be arraigned in court either later on this afternoon, depending on how far the grilling goes on at the offices behind me, or he could possibly also spend the weekend behind bars and would be arraigned in court maybe on Monday. Remember, the other officials who were arraigned in court and charged for the inflation of the construction costs for both dams, including the Cabinet Secretary, or might I say now the former Cabinet Secretary for the National Treasury, Henry Rotich, his principal secretary, Mr. Kamau Thuge, as well as the Principal Secretary for the East Africa Community, Susan Koech, were all released on a 15 million shilling cash bail earlier on this week. We wait to see if Kimosop will perhaps face the same fate. Of course, he is being charged for 4 economic crimes, at least 4 economic crimes, including failure to comply with procurement laws, abuse of office, as well as inflation of the costs for the construction of the two dams. Kimosop, who was at the time the Director General, or rather the Managing Director of the Kerio Valley Development Authority, is being charged for these crimes, which he is accused of having committed between December 2014 and September last year, 2018, in which he, alongside 16 other officials from the KVDA, are accused of having inflated the cost of particularly the Aror Dam, which they secured a loan of 25 billion shillings from an Italian firm, and they are accused of pretending that this was a government, of borrowing a commercial loan, yet it was said they had disguised this as a government-to-government deal between the countries of Kenya and the Italian company. If I'm not wrong, it's called the Di Ravenna, which is also mentioned in this particular case as one of those charged. So we wait and see, Michelle, if he will be released today, if he'll be arraigned in court possibly this afternoon, or if he will spend the night behind bars awaiting that anticipated court hearing either on Monday or later this afternoon, depending on how the grilling behind me here goes for Mr. David Kipchumba Kimosop.
Right, Timothy, and he was the only big name yet to be arrested in this scandal. So far, we've seen the former Treasury CS Henry Rotich, former PS Kamau Thuge as well, all being charged and released on bail. But how many of the 28 who were set to be arrested have not been arrested?
Well, that information still remains scanty. The Office of the Director of Criminal Investigations, as well as that of the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, as recent as yesterday morning, said that they were still actively pursuing those who had not yet presented themselves before investigating officers and had not been arraigned in court. Now, they did not release the number of those who are yet to do so, but as far as Kimosop's case is concerned, he is the highest ranking official of a state department who was yet to present himself before court. Remember, earlier on in the week, the former cabinet secretary of the National Treasury, Henry Rotich, and his PS Kamau Thuge were arraigned alongside 17 other individuals, including those of the ad hoc committee for the procurement of some of the equipments and of the contracts needed for the construction of these two dams. Some were, of course, from the technical committee of the Ministry of the National Treasury, as well as 16 senior officials from the Kerio Valley Development Authority, who were arraigned alongside the CS and the PS of the National Treasury, as well as the PS for the Ministry of the East Africa Community. So the exact number of those who are yet to appear before the DCI and court remains unknown, even as the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission yesterday said they were actively pursuing those who had not yet presented themselves. So Mr. Kimosop was arrested at the JKIA, returning from Congo, where his lawyer said he had been over the last 2 weeks or so, and we wait and see if he'll be arraigned in court alongside any other individuals linked to this particular scandal. Michelle.
All right, many thanks. That is Timothy Otieno live for us from the DCI headquarters there, where former Kerio Valley Development Authority MD David Kimosop has been taken for questioning after being arrested by DCI detectives at the JKIA upon arrival from the Democratic Republic of